your eyes getting all in a rage. You gonna rant about me on your Facebook page? Don't be doing that, girl. Your dad's like a bird. I see you in here raw because I got your password. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
Every now and then, a book comes along that speaks to a generation. The author manages to strike a chord in a vast segment of society. That author is Greg Schwem, and his book is Text Me If You're Breathing, Observations, Frustrations, and Life Lessons from a Low-Tech Dad. Those are your kids who appear on the cover, Greg. And like most every other kid these days, they love technology, right?
Oh, absolutely. Can't do without it. Everything new that comes out, they say, I've got to have that, and this is just going to change my life at 10. And as a parent, I'm the one who has to then research it and say, really? Let's actually think about this.
Okay, so you've carved out quite a nice career as a stand-up comic specializing in corporate type gigs where you talk about technology. You're not anti-tech in this book.
No, not at all. And when I say I'm a low-tech dad, I mean it doesn't mean that I've never ever used a computer, don't know how to turn one on. But I think compared to your kids, compared to generations that come after you, you're always going to feel low-tech because they're growing up with this stuff. And our generation, we have to learn it on the fly, and it's very difficult.
You've got some tips for parents for living in the high-tech age. For example, you tell them to be a hip dork.
Yeah, hip dork means try the technology, try Facebook, try Twitter, but don't let it take over your lives like your kids want it to take over their lives. You have to step back and say, okay, now I've tried it. Now I'm going to be the dork and I'm going to say, do you really need this? I'm the dad here. I'm saying, no, you really don't need a Twitter account at age 11.
Texting is a form of communication, but not the form, which would come as a shock to some kids.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, kids now look at a phone on the wall and say, don't really know what that is. Dad, tell me what things were like in the war. That was my way of saying, look, you know, you can text with your kids, but what's wrong with picking up the phone and calling every now and then? What's wrong with saying when they're out somewhere, pick up the phone and call me, tell me where you are. Don't send me a four-letter text where I have to figure out what the acronym stands for. And what's wrong with just you and I sitting down and communicating face-to-face once in a while?
What a concept. Eye contact.
I know.
In spite of what Apple says, there isn't always an app for that. Encourage the kids to think for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think kids now, they want to go to the web. They want to. Here's one thing I'm always on my daughter about. I always tell her, look, the spell checker is not the be-all, end-all solution for your homework. All right? Maybe you might have to actually look and read it out loud before you turn it in. Don't rely on technology to do your most basic tasks.
Well, and that is when the kids are they're acquiring very important kinds of reasoning skills that aren't all included in technology, that you get them from doing other activities.
Yeah, exactly, like communicating.
All right. Greg, thank you so much. Again, the book is called Text Me If You're Breathing, a really fun read for parents who are trying to cope in this modern high-tech age. Thanks very much.